Hello and welcome to the Fans Boxing Podcast, the podcast that asks the questions you want to hear. Hello and welcome back to the Fan Pod. And on the show this week, we have soon-to-be professional boxer fighting at the Champions Gym, Colchester. It's Tom McGinley. How are you today, Tom?
Not too bad, mate. Thank you for speaking to me.
No, that's an absolute pleasure, mate. So, only come on this show for the first time, mate. We like to recap where it all started for you in boxing. Can you just take us back to them days and where it all started, mate?
Yeah, sure. I started boxing about 5 years ago. I was 23. I was a little bit of a late starter. I actually started boxing out of a gym called Fight Club Essex over in Malden. Had about 8 or 9 fights with them. My first few actually were all stoppages. I think my first 6 were all first round stoppages, so didn't get many rounds in early. I was obviously happy with the stoppages, but it sort of became apparent that I needed to sort of make the step up in quality, and the opponents then started getting a bit tougher. Got some good rounds in, and my coach at the time, Chrissy Morris, and me sat and had a chat, and he said basically it was time for me to move on, and he was in good contact with Russ Smith over at Champions Gym, and he basically sat me down and said, it's time for you to go over to Russ. Russ took me under his wing, and it basically moved me across to Champions Gym, and started boxing for them. I think it was probably about a year and a bit ago. Had about 3 or 4 fights with Russ, and here we are now, ready to knock on the door on the pro ranks.
You touched on it there, Tom. What was like the quality of your opponent like on that scene?
To be honest, there's a real mixed bunch. My first few probably weren't the best, but towards the latter stage, I boxed a guy called Danny Costello who won the ABAs 3 times. Had a good pro career. We had a 3-rounder in the Circus Tavern, and that actually ended in a draw. They set it up again a bit later in the year, which was the latter part of last year, over 6 rounds back at Colchester, and I dominated the fight. He had a standing count 3 times, I think it was, and after that, Russ and I had a chat and said, look, that's the level of the opponent that you've been in with. That's you've beaten him. The next stage is the pro game. Do you fancy giving it a go? And to be honest, I was absolutely thrilled. It was something I've always wanted to do, and with wins like that, I knew I was ready to do it. So I accepted, obviously.
Yeah, it must have been a massive confidence booster knowing you can mix with them kind of level opponents.
Yeah, Danny's fought some great lads. I say winning the ABAs 3 times. I don't think there's many people that have done that. So I knew it was going to be a tough fight, and he came to win. He came looking for the victory, which is good. That's what you want. And we had a real good bout. And I was absolutely thrilled to get the win, to be honest.
Yeah, because obviously moving on, getting your British licence, was that a hard task? I know a lot of people struggle these days.
Yeah, obviously Russ came up with me to the meeting at the board. They sat me down. We had a good long chat. I explained that I've come through the unlicensed rather than the amateurs. I think they are slowly sort of coming around to the fact that there's good opposition on the unlicensed scene, but I think the amateur route is their preferred option. They sent me for a gym test, which is basically, you probably know, they come and watch you train, watch you on the pads, just basically make sure that you're ready to mix it with the best, really.
Yeah, that's good to hear, mate. As I'm moving on to making your professional debut, how's the training changed lately?
We always trained hard. I trained hard with Russ on the unlicensed. He pushes all the lads hard in the gym. I think, if anything, we're probably training smarter than I was before. I haven't felt the need to absolutely kill my body. We've been working on more technical things, movement, slipping, defence. All of the stuff that I'm going to need in the pro game. So it's been a change of pace as such. We're still obviously working hard on the fitness, but he knows, now being pro, that he doesn't have to hassle me on that. I will get up, early, do me runs, do me fitness in my own time, and then when I'm in the gym with him, we're working on skills. We're not having to hound the fitness and stuff as much. So yeah, it's good. It's been a step up. The quality of the sparring has been high. Really thankful to Graham Everett over at the Kick Stop. He's had me down there a few times. Been lucky enough to do a few rounds with Ryan Walsh, Craig Poxton, Z from their gym. To be honest, I'm really grateful. And also as well, I've been over in Loughton with a couple of the lads from the Essex Fight Academy with Victor Smith, Georgie Wright, who's fighting the same night as me. I've had real top level sparring for this debut, so I'm in the best possible position I can be to get in there on the 4th of June.
Well, that's great to hear, mate. Again, so how did that spar go with Ryan Walsh? Obviously, he's a British champion and a 2 levels above you.
Yeah, it was a tough one. To be honest, any rounds with someone of that level, you're in there and it's an education. I'm not saying that I anywhere near was at his level, but the way I see it is, you go there, you might lose 4 rounds the first time. The next time you go, you might win 10, 15 seconds of a round. Push on. You might land 2 or 3 shots without reply. That's I know it's not going to happen overnight, but if I can get up there and get in with lads of that, that quality, then it's only going to help me out in the long run. So, if Graham ever picks the phone up and says to Russ, I need lads, can you come over? I'm there. For the sake of a 90-mile drive, for me, that's more than worth it.
Yeah, of course, it is a world-class training down there and sparring it.
Yeah, fantastic lads. And as well, you got Craig Poxton, who quite often goes over. Z, he's sort of 5 or 6 fights ahead of me, but similar weight, similar styles. He's a bit like me. He's come into the game a bit later in the day. So yeah, I'm admiring people like that, and. If I can get my name in amongst them, then brilliant. But just looking forward to getting the ball rolling, getting this debut out of the way, and then looking to get some more dates lined up, get maybe 2 or 3 more in before the end of the year, and hit 2017, up and running.
Yep, of course, mate. I would say you're in-house sparring. What weight are you coming through at times? Is it lightweight?
I was boxing as a lightweight on the unlicensed scene, which, to be honest, was more to get decent level opponents. I've since obviously sorted out my nutrition, my diet, been a lot more strict. I've been seeing a nutritionist, a guy called Tim Sharp, who's if that is his full-time job, and he sat me down and we had a good few hour chat, and he done me a full plan, and he basically said to me, I can get you down to 58, 59 kilos comfortably, and you'll be stronger. You'll have more muscle. And to be honest, I was a bit taken back because I've been boxing at sort of 62, 63 kilos. I say I'm now down at 59. I feel great. I feel strong. So I'm going to be making my debut at super featherweight, potentially in the future, even getting down to feather. So I'm in a real good place at the moment. Weight wise and stuff, it's all gone well.
Oh, brilliant, mate. So in your gym in Colchester, obviously the lads I know are quite a bit of weight ahead of you, aren't you? Who you sparring in house?
Yeah, I mean, on the unlicensed scene, I was sparring those lads quite frequently. So, if I turned up and had a bad day, it really did show. Especially with the likes of Alan Matib, Ryan Frost, John Wheatley, all coming through around the welterweight class. It was tough sparring, but luckily Matt Lewis has come back to the gym over the last couple of weeks, and we've had some great rounds. So it's been good. I've been getting some good sparring in the gym as well.
I think he's one of Russell's original pros, wasn't he?
He is, yeah, and the talent's still there. To be honest, he's my weight. He's slick. He's fast. He's hard to hit. He's got bunches of talent, and I really hope he sticks it out and comes back to us properly, because he's been a massive help for me getting ready for this fight. So I just want to say massive thanks to Matt.
Yeah, brilliant, mate. So obviously, I think it's 2.5 weeks away now to your debut at the famous York Hall, June 4th. How are you feeling? How's the preparation been going?
York Hall, no pressure, eh?
First exactly, mate.
The training's been going great. Russ and I had a chat sort of real late part of last year. So since about Jan, Feb, License applications have been going in. We've been training hard. The weight's been coming down. Sparring as much as I can, getting up to Norwich, getting up down to Loughton, just pushing myself really. And to be honest, as you know, the phrase "left no stone unturned" is genuinely true for this. I'm in the best place I can be. If I can't go out there and do the business on the 4th of June, you know, it's definitely not going to be through any lack of preparation from myself, from Russ, from the lads. You know, people have really helped me out, and I couldn't be more grateful, to be honest. Yeah, it's gone great. I just want to get this first one out of the way, you know, get the ball rolling, and I think once I get those first fight nerves out of the way, I'll settle in sort of maybe 2 or 3 fights remaining for this year, and then next year, you know, look to really push on. So yeah, confident, but still got a little bit of that, you know, that first fight nerves, but hopefully it won't play too big of a part, and I'll get in there and get the job done.
Like you said, most of your teammates or gym mates are on the Shamrock promotions. Can you tell us a bit about your promotions and the route you've gone down? Yeah,
I'm with a guy called Joel Feed. The reason that we've gone down different paths is I originally lived in Chelmsford. I'm still this direction, and obviously a lot of the lads are Colchester bound. So I've gone for a sort of manager promoter sort of nearer where I am geographically where I live. So hopefully, you know, it'll help with the ticket sales and stuff. The York Hall, although not on my doorstep, is nearer than perhaps say Norwich, the halls at Norwich. Yeah. So yeah, it was more of a ticket related choice rather than you know, any sort of preference as such. I say I'm really grateful for all the help that Graham and the guys up there have given me over the last couple of years. So yeah, just purely a geographical reason, to be honest.
That's good to hear, mate. Obviously, the card is headlined by the Evangulu brothers. I think I pronounced that right.
Yeah, that's probably my best guess, to be honest.
Yeah, it's quite a big card, and obviously, like you said, walking out of York Hall, that must have added a little bit of spice to the event as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched a good few fights there over the years. You know, both a couple of my friends from Fight Club days have boxed there. Daryl Church and Brett Saggs. Both come out of there with victories, but you know, it's got a real buzz about the place. And to be honest, you know, back then when I was watching them, I couldn't have dreamt about making my debut there. But it's now right around the corner, so really thrilled. But at the same time, it does bring that little bit of extra nerves.
Yeah, of course, but you need them nerves as well, don't you?
That's right, it drives you on, and you know, I think anybody who says they're not nervous about a fight, to be honest, probably telling fibs, because I think those small amount of nerves to just push you that little bit harder, to, you know, do a little bit more in the gym, get up that little bit earlier, get that extra mile in, etc. You know, push yourself as hard as you can.
Yeah, that's all you can do, isn't it, mate?
Yep.
Anyone looking for tickets for that night can let us know where the best place to get a hold of them.
Yeah, tickets available from me now. I've been running tickets around quite a bit. People have been good coming forward, but obviously I want to push them as much as I can, get as many people along to support me for this first one as I possibly can. My number should be on the screen, so any issues ticket related, please give me a call. I'll ferry them around, bring them out to you. Let's get as many people there and support as we can.
Yeah, that's great to hear, mate. And saying like the trading side of your regime, do you enjoy all sides of it?
Yeah, I mean, Russ has us in the gym fairly early. It was a bit of a shock to the system at first. You know, I'm used to training in the afternoons, in the evenings, and then I think it was my first evening session. I said, you know, when do you want me in next? And he said to me, I'll see you at 5 a.m. And I sort of looked at him thinking he's going to laugh in a minute. He's not serious. He knows I live like an hour away. And he weren't. He was deadly serious. And, you know, I was there. And you do get used to it. And to be honest, I quite enjoy the morning sessions. By the time you've got up, driven down there, you know, maybe had a coffee on the way, you're sharp, you're alert, you're ready to go. And, yeah, I think I've probably learnt more, you know, in those early morning sessions than I probably have some of the evening sessions. So it was a shock, but it was a good shock in the long term.
Yeah, obviously you still got a full-time job. Will you have any time off before your debut?
Yeah, I think actually the bank holiday weekend falls before, and I might have the Friday off with boxing on the Saturday, Friday the 3rd, just to rest up and refuel and just get my mind on the task, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the main thing, mate, isn't it?
Yep.
Fighting them nerves on the day. Yeah.
Early weigh in, and then be a couple of hours chilling, and get down there and get my mind right, and hopefully get in there and get the result that I've worked so hard for.
Yeah, that's great to hear, mate. And so, would you say you're a fan of the sport away from your own career?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I was a late fan of the sport. As a youngster, I was football mad. I played football till I was about 21, 22. I had a couple of bad injuries. I'd done my cruciate ligament in my knee, and I thought to myself, well, I started enjoying watching a bit of boxing on the telly. I'll find a gym, and went down quite a famous club in Chelmsford. I won't name names, and they told me I was too old, a southpaw, and never going to make it. And I walked out of there feeling a bit deflated, and then found another local gym in Malden, and walked in there, and a chap called Chrissy Morris said to me, you've got a bit about it. Do you want to have a little spar up? So I thought, yeah. And the next minute, I've got a bout matched, and I'm making my debut on the unlicensed. So it was a bit of a shock, because I came from football and never really had any intentions of boxing properly. Next minute, I'm making my debut.
Bit of a crazy ride.
Yeah, but no, I'm a massive fan now. It's such an addictive sport. Once you start, I think you're in it for life.
Yeah.
If anything, the football's probably took a back seat. To be honest, I still watch a bit, but nowhere near what I used to be. I think it's quite difficult to put yourself into two massive sports like that at the same time, and I had to make a choice. And yeah, pick boxing.
Picked the right choice there, mate.
Yeah.
Can you remember the first fight you watched that turned your head to boxing?
The first fight I think I watched as a youngster probably would have been Eubank versus Ben, I reckon. It must have been sort of 93, 94. Yeah. That's the first one I remember, and thinking, wow, this is impressive stuff. I would never want to do that. I remember thinking that while I was watching it, and here I am. My sort of guy I looked up to, when I started warming to boxing, was probably Nassim Hamid, I reckon. Yeah. Where he was sort of my sort of frame. I used to admire his skill and think, wow, if I could ever do that, that'd be great. But funnily enough, I'm nothing like that style of fighter now. But it's good to look and admire people and pick things out that you'd like to work on yourself. And his movement, his skill, back then he was pretty much untouchable until he got in with Barrera. But there you go.
Yeah, it's one of them things, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a pity he didn't continue, innit? I only had one bout after that, but
yeah, I think he had one fight after that and won it, didn't he? If I remember. But I think that Barrera was a real shock. And when you watch it back, he come up against someone who was just in there to just dominate the fight from the first bell, and he did exactly that. And that style of fighting, has got to be respected as well, as much as the movement and the skills of Hamid. But he just got bossed on the night, didn't he?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Do you follow any fighters in the world scene at the minute?
My favourite fighter at the moment, it's probably what a lot of the lads have said, but it is Golovkin. I think the guy is. I think his name's coming to the forefront now, but he's been massively overlooked for the last, 2 or 3 years. He's been avoided, and I think it's got to the stage now where people can't avoid him anymore. Well, as we've probably found out, if the Alvarez fight happens, that's two huge names going up against each other, and that's what boxing fans want to see. They want to see the best fighting the best, and unfortunately with the sport, I think over the years that sort of sometimes gets avoided.
Yeah, you're right there, 100%, and it's all come down to emotions and money and stuff like that. It
Yeah.
shouldn't be like that, should it?
No, it shouldn't, but it's a business at the end of the day, and there's people in it to make money, and I think sometimes these super fights never happen for those reasons, which I find a shame. I think, likes of Mayweather, Pacquiao probably happened 2 or 3 or maybe 4 or 5 years later than perhaps it should have done, when Pacquiao certainly was at his prime. Mayweather, you could argue, went out undefeated. He was, he left at his prime, but I still feel he was sharper 3 or 4 years ago, and I think he would have made a much better fight back then as well.
Yeah, obviously you touched on it then. Who are you going for in Golovkin versus Canelo? Obviously Golovkin.
I'm not 100% certain, but I think he's almost. Yeah, I think he's pretty much as perfect a fighter as I'll see in my lifetime. Yeah. He doesn't make mistakes. It's unreal to watch. He's just I think he's technically so good. I think Alvarez will certainly give it a go, and I think it will be the hardest fight that Golovkin's had. But yeah, my money is on Golovkin.
Yeah, that's good to hear, mate. And another big fight coming up is obviously Tyson Fury versus Klitschko, the rematch.
Yeah.
Is that a repeat or revenge for you, Tom?
I can't help but admire Fury. I'm not going to say I'm a huge fan, but you know, the guy went there with a game plan and he made it work. And I think anybody who does that deserves respect.
Yeah.
He took Klitschko's best weapons away from him, and he made the fight his fight. And sometimes when someone does that, you know, they deserve a lot of respect. Whether Klitschko will learn from it and come back and has enough in the tank to take those belts back, I'm not sure. I hope so, because I think he's the better man overall. But I think that they've certainly got their work cut out, because I'm sure the Fury camp will have thought long and hard, and they know that Klitschko's not going to come with the same game plan that he went with last time. He's going to obviously have to try something new. So I think it's going to be a bit of a chess match, this one.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see how it pans out. I'll certainly be watching.
Yeah, it's one to look forward to, isn't it?
Yep.
And talking about the boxing locally, it was May 14th at Braintree. Were you there for that night?
I was, yeah, supporting the lads. Yeah, we had 4 boys out on that show. Ryan Frost, Alan Ratib, Joe Hearn, and John Wheatley. 4 out of 4. I think you were there, were you?
No, I couldn't make it. Mate. I was working.
Yeah, 4 wins out of 4. Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, Alan Ratib on his second fight, looking like he probably had 8 or 9, absolutely faultless. John Wheatley as well, looking nice and slick. That was his second fight as well. Ryan, again, strong. And obviously the main man, Joe Hearn, with another stoppage.
I saw that. That was quite a gruesome one, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know it's bad when the crowd, you know, begin to celebrate and then go quiet, because the guy's genuinely out cold. And it was nice to see Joe go over and make sure the guy was all right before he celebrated himself. But yeah, absolutely stunning knockout. Really impressive stuff.
I don't know if people looked into that Kelsey Blair's record, but he'd been in with some really good people, hadn't he, and been the distance.
Yeah, there was a lot of rumours flying around that Joe was going to have a hard night, and he was going to get some rounds in, and Joe does what Joe does best, and made everybody eat their words.
Must be hard to hold him back now, isn't it?
He is deadly. I think he's knocking on the door of a belt. Well, he's already got a belt, but he's knocking on the door of something a little bit bigger than what he's won already. But he's certainly on the right path.
Yeah, it's great to hear. That's great to hear you supporting your teammates as well.
Yeah, I mean, I say it's such a strong team in the gym at the Mo. You've got Tommy Jacobs as well. He's out again. I think he's out again 2 weeks after me.
Yeah, he is.
Marcus Poston, I'm sure is a name that you know.
He's turning pro hopefully in Norwich, isn't it?
Turning pro, he had some brilliant wins in the amateurs against some top lads, and it'd be great to see him up and running soon. I think his licence has now been approved, so he's looking to make his debut in July as well, I think. So it's a strong gym. I just want to get the ball rolling and join them. You know, these undefeated lads. I want to get my name up there with them. Yeah,
because obviously I had Tommy Jacobs on the show a couple of times, and he said that's a really competitive gym down there and a good atmosphere.
It is. I mean, we're all pushing hard. We have our circuit training sessions, and everybody's pushing to be top dog, and it's good. It's pushing us all on harder. And I say with the addition of Matty Lewis coming back in, you know, a bit closer to my weight, I couldn't be happier, to be honest. It's a great feeling being in there with all the lads at the same time.
Yeah, brilliant, mate. Like you say, have you set yourself any short-term, long-term goals?
You know, I'm being realistic. I turned 29 last week. I really want to push on and get maybe 2 or 3 fights in, see out this year. Next year, maybe look to get 4 or 5 in. You know, get up near that 10-fight margin by the end of the latter part of next year, and be knocking on the door of a belt of some sort. You know, I know it's going to be what they class as one of the lower level belts, but for me to win a title at the age I've started at is an absolute dream, and I'm going to make sure I do absolutely everything within my power to do that. You know, if I can push on and one day challenge for a Southern area belt, I'll be a very happy man.
Yeah, well, I think that's great attitude to have, mate.
Yep.
Sorry, mate. Before we leave the show, have you got anyone you'd like to thank?
I've got quite a long list, to be honest.
No worries, mate.
The support I've had from people from when I sort of told people I was turning over has been absolutely unreal. a good friend of mine, Jack, he came forward. He's got a new company starting out there, Red Teamwear. They've just started out. They make lots of kit for different sports. They do a lot of rugby stuff. He's supporting me in the boxing. My girlfriend Claire is a netballer. He's doing a kit for their team. So he's done all of my training wear for absolutely nothing. Been a massive help. Obviously, that's a massive outlay. Is all your training kit and stuff. The gym sponsored by Ampro. They're doing my fighter wear, which has been absolutely fantastic to know I've got that covered. Yeah. And also as well, a company called Cobra Steel Services, helping me contributing towards my training fees, which I'm sure you know is not cheap.
Yeah, of course, mate.
It's been a huge help having them helping me financially. And also as well, just last couple of weeks, a company called muscleversusmetal.com, which is like a protein and supplements company, have come forward. I actually spoke to the guy Adam, and I was speaking to him about some advice on some products and stuff, and he was so helpful. And in the end, he came forward and said, can I ask why you're asking these sort of questions? And I explained to him. He said, look, we want to help out people like yourself, and he actually made me an offer for a sponsorship package. And they're sorting out sort of my protein, my recovery drinks, which is an absolute massive help. So I can't thank him enough. That's muscleversusmetal.com if anybody's looking to get any extra help with their training and nutrition. And one more as well, I've got a couple of family members, Claire and Alan Brown. They came forward to help me with the cost of my licensing fees and my medicals, which again was something that was absolute godsend, to be honest, because as you probably know, that's not the cheapest thing, getting your license. So just want to say a massive thank you to them. And obviously my family, my mum and dad supported me from my first fight, and my girlfriend Claire, my long-term girlfriend Claire, who suffered from day one with me with every fight, been there in my corner. She's been absolutely brilliant throughout, and she still supports me now. So yeah, just huge thank yous all round, really, and all my friends and family that come and watch.
Let's say to your friends and family, see the difference in you leading up to a big fight?
Yeah, I'm probably a bit more stressed than I am usually, but they cut me a lot of slack, and things like if somebody says, we're going to go out and have a few drinks, do this, do that, they won't just expect me to be there. They'll say, we understand if you can't make it, if if it's 2 weeks before you're boxing in a couple of weeks, you don't want to be out having bad food, bad drinking, stuff like that. I haven't had a drink in good several months leading up to this. They've been great, and my friends are the same as well. They cut me a lot of slack, so yeah, a lot of support. I'm really, really grateful.
Yeah, because our fans didn't appreciate it as much, but it's a whole change of lifestyle, isn't it, come to professional boxing, with your eating and drinking and everything.
It is, yeah. It's certainly not going to do you any favours going out and having a few beers and going out and eating McDonald's and stuff like that. So the diet's been strict, no alcohol. But for me, I think that's another little advantage. I know that I've sacrificed things for this fight, and I'm going to make sure I haven't done that for nothing. So come 4th of June, it'll be my arm raised at the end.
Yeah, that's good to hear, mate. And I've got to ask, is there any news on opponent yet? Is that a last minute thing?
Yeah, no, I know the opponent. I can't quite pronounce his name. He's a Polish fella. I've watched him a few fights on YouTube, and I think he boxed on Box Nation as well earlier in the year. Yeah, it's going to be a difficult one to look good against. He's quite cagey, quite defensive.
Negative fighter, is he?
Yeah, he lets the opponent do a lot of the work, and you make a mistake and he makes you pay for it. He's one of those styles. So it'll be one where I need to do enough to win it and look to work hard. I don't think the guy's ever been stopped, so he's pretty durable. So we're going to get some rounds in, which is good, and hopefully get the decision.
Yeah, because every fight is going to be a learning fight for you, learning on the job, as we say, isn't it?
That's right. I mean, you probably know as well as I do, these early ones, sometimes you get a lot of journeymen, people that have done a lot of rounds. As long as you learn from these fights, they can be a massive positive in a career. So, yeah, I'm looking to get 4 rounds in the bank, learn from it, move on, get another fight lined up for, later part of the summer, and then again before Christmas, really get some good quality rounds in and get some educational rounds in as well.
Yeah, that's great to hear, mate. And I wish you all the best going into June the 4th, Judgment Day.
Yeah.
And I hope all training goes well, and catch up with you soon, mate.
Yep, just one more if I can. Just want to say
help yourself, mate. It's your time.
Huge thanks. I know I've already brought him up, but to Russell Smith, he's pushed me harder than I've ever been pushed in my life. But I think we're getting there now, and I just want to reward him on the 4th. Come out of there with the win, and then obviously join the rest of the lads as undefeated stable at Champions Gym.
Yep, that's brilliant to hear, mate. And like I say, we wish you all the best getting into that, Tom.
Thank you very much, and thanks for ringing and the interview. I really appreciate your help.
No problem, mate. I appreciate your time as well.
Bro.
Top man. I'll speak to you soon, mate.
Thanks, mate. Bye.
Bye.